Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Road to Roota.com. Lots to talk about. As usual, I had a couple days break, had some stuff I got to do. I'm trying to revamp my my garden, my survival garden. Everybody should have a little survival garden, even if they're in the city. You can grow sprouts, I think, inside. Yeah, be prepared for some crazy stuff coming down the pike. This weekend I posted on the private road a post about silver and the criminal banksters, talking about the commitment of traders report. Go check that out. Gives us some insight into what's happening right here, and what will happen on Monday, Tuesday night. We'll know if they're going after silver for another week. It goes week by week, because that's their reporting schedule for the large riggers. I heard Jeffrey Christian posted something, said there's no gold and silver rigging. Those tinfoil hat people, I've disproven this. Holy moly, that guy is he's not dumb. He's not dumb. He's criminal. He's lying. But hey, go for it, Jeff. Every side needs a opposite side sounding board. Like those people saying, "Oh, solar has peaked," blah blah blah. Maybe, but not for the reason you think. Solar is still going crazy. We're going to hit the 600 gigawatts as I expected. Probably 400 million to 500 million ounces of silver. No matter what the Silver Institute says, they're just criminals right now. It's shocking how much criminality goes on there. But yeah, 400 to 500 million in industrial silver. That's put us over the top of, we're using more silver than is coming out of the ground on the industrial side. It's like investors don't even matter anymore. And the price is rigged, so what do you do? But it's a great indicator, and it obviously is the number one place to have your money if you're going to survive this transition, which is happening faster and faster. Something just happened that is massive that nobody's really talking about. I hope you have an up-to-date computer and cell phone in your hands, shall I say. I've been talking about that for a while. It's got to do with Taiwan, the production of semiconductors. It's a different angle. And we all know they can steer hurricanes and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, they're obviously steering this one. What is the reason? What's the purpose? Because it hit a part of Florida that, it's important. Every part is important, but it wasn't that important. If they nailed that thing right into like Tampa Bay, it would have been something different. Or New Orleans, something different. A strange part, but where did it continue to? And what happened? What happened, and how will it affect the world? I'll get to that in 1 second. Anyway, if you want to check out my discussion and all the discussions on the private road, there's tons of them. These are basically things I cannot talk about on YouTube because of censorship. So go check that out. Really interesting stuff. Silver getting slammed again today. It was up. It's getting slammed. Is the cabal stressed? They're always stressed. If you're a naked short especially, you're always stressed about the silver price. But you have the CFTC to tamp down prices when you need them. So they're not that stressed, and they're doing the work of the U.S. government. So if they take the losses, they'll probably make up the gains somewhere else. That's the idea. Take losses on silver, make it up in copper and fuel, in oil and whatever, but always control the price of silver. Always. Sorry, Jeff, you're wrong again. And it can be done very easily. I was talking to Andy Scheckman. You can do it even within gold and silver. For example, gold's such a bigger market dollar-wise than silver. You can take massive hits in silver and then, a little nod and a wink to your buddy over there at JP Morgan or Citibank or Bank of America, and you make it up in gold and vice versa. And the idea is not to make money in silver, it's to control the price and suppress the price. So yeah, it's easy to lose $1 billion in silver and make it up in the gold market by a handful of people doing it, all orchestrated by a company called Virtu Financial. Vinny Viola, nice job, Vinny. That's been going on since the Bernie Madoff days. Him and Bernie were counterparts back in the day. I've talked about that many times on the road to Roota. There are no markets that are immune, and I'll show you a really interesting rig job that was done yesterday in one of the Theta subtokens. Really interesting stuff, and how easy it is to manipulate any market you want these days, especially if you have the government nod and a wink, which is the gold and silver market. All right, so here's what, yes, there's pressure on silver. The commercial shorts were shorting as it rose. The commercial shorts, they shorted, I think it was 25 million ounces naked to slow down. The price still went up during that reporting period, but it didn't go up as fast as it would have, and that's the whole name of the game. And then they get up a little high over their skis, and they have to slam it down. They slam it down, and then they get people to start going short, especially the tech funds, or even their friends, maybe BlackRock. Again, they can make it up somewhere else. It's a give and take. It's a control game. It's not a I'm making money in gold and silver. But by doing that, they have, for 170 years, they have literally put themselves in a position where if silver was freely traded, it would instantly go into the thousands of dollars. I would say probably the first stop is $600, just because that's been in everybody's data for a very long time. But I more look at the gold-silver ratio. I think the first stop for gold-silver ratio is about 7 to 1. Right now it's 80-something to 1. So you can take that as you will. So 7 to 1 put us at, what, $300 silver. And then I do think at some point it will go to 1 to 1 with gold, maybe even 1 to 10. Bix, how could that be? That's never happened in the history of the world. Well, we've never used up all the silver in the world either. Don't forget, the last 80 to 100 years, we've been taking silver, putting it in industrial applications and throwing it away. That's not sustainable, I hate to tell you. Whereas we've been digging gold out of the ground and sticking it in a vault. So the world is about to change, and you got to be ready for it. You have to have physical silver in your own possession. No mining companies. Not time to mess around with mining companies. 99% chance they'll be nationalized. Just think you're the president of Mexico, for example, the largest producer of silver, and we have a banking collapse because of the myriad of problems in the derivative market, $3 quadrillion market. That's how you take out the banksters. If you're looking for how can the good guys ever win this game, how could the rigging ever stop, it would be the destruction of the banking system. The derivative market was built for the sole purpose of destruction. Weapon of mass financial destruction is what Warren Buffett called. And then he went and bought $3 trillion in derivatives or something ridiculous like that. So even Warren could pull the trigger on this game. He's getting older. He's going to fulfill his dad's prophecy. His dad was a huge gold bug congressman, I think from Nebraska, or back in the day, and he got on the floor of the U.S. Congress and said, we have to go back to a gold standard. And Warren absolutely idolized his father, and I think he'll be able to achieve his goal. And this has to do with the massive silver release through J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan had socked away, I think it was 1.2 billion ounces of silver, 10 times, more than 10 times what the Hunt brothers did. And then they got busted by Trump and the J.P. Morgan, the big J.P. Morgan thing. And then they did a lease through Bank of America, and that's when Warren Buffett started buying all these shares of Bank of America and going, oh my God, why is Buffett buying so much of Bank of America? It's a shitty company at the time. But he did, and everybody got into it, and I believe it was a lease, because Bank of America did lease over 1 billion ounces of silver from J.P. Morgan to do something with it. I think they sold it in the market through a lease to none other than Warren Buffett. Now Warren Buffett is selling his Bank of America stock at a pace that everybody's like, oh my God, what's going on with Bank of America? The lease is over. This is the end game. Now Buffett controls the 1 billion ounces, probably for the U.S. government, if you ask me, for the restart. And that's where we are. One of the things I said, China will be at the forefront of they'll be the last bad guy. It went Trump, Putin, now it's Xi of China's turn. Let's see what's going on in China right now. China responds as Biden approves of $567 million in arms for Taiwan. Biden, a guy who can't even wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee by himself, is the president of the United States, and he approved this. I mean, even the Democrats know he's completely dysfunctional. How is he the approver? It should scare the hell out of you. Anyway, China's not happy. I've said many times, we're going down to how many days we got till the election? Less than 2 months. Way less. What is it? November 5th, I think, something like that. 6, 7, 8. I don't know what day it is, somewhere at the beginning of November. So about a month and a week or so, that all this stuff has got to happen. I think it will. I think they do want to crash the system on Biden's watch. Not that he's watching. And that will include the invasion of Taiwan, most likely. Although I think the U.S., because of this, they steered Hurricane Helene somewhere, right? Very interesting where they did steer it and what that means for Taiwan and China. Well, then maybe there's not going to be an invasion. Let me keep going on this theme. So a couple days ago, China absolutely opened the bazooka, the fiat money bazooka, and is just shoving billions, hundreds of billions of dollars into their economy. They're much larger than the United States as far as population, so yeah, they can do it. And they're the central bank. It's like the U.S. does it when we're in trouble. China will do it all day long. But really interesting this time. It was very different. Inside China's unusually candid stimulus briefing on the economy. This is from Bloomberg News. When a big news story breaks, being the person telling the world is a great responsibility and also incredibly stressful. When the central bank governor of the world's second largest economy sits down and hastily calls a press conference and immediately starts announcing hundreds of billions of dollars in stimulus, it's certainly enough to get the adrenaline flowing. As I blogged just afterward, my hands were shaking as I sent those headlines. What a bazooka from the central bank. I don't think I've ever seen such an announcement before in China. It certainly was quite the performance by Pan Zhongqing. Time for, just before the opening of the stock market for the day, stocks rallied once investors digested all the different measures, and investor billionaire David Tepper later said it was buying more of everything related to China. The transparency of the briefing resembled that in other countries, because China's not transparent, by the way, especially the central bank, especially with Pan staying around afterwards to answer a few questions from journalists instead of giving prepared answers and then rushing off, as is the custom in Beijing. That is especially striking in a country where access to policymakers have been getting harder, not easier. So they are just absolutely open the floodgates. The U.S. does the same thing. Don't blame China. Everybody is. This is the end game. What happens at the end game of fiat money? Everybody opens the money bazookas. And the U.S. is doing it. A lot of it's behind the scenes, but we're lowering rates. China's throwing billions, hundreds of billions. Why not hundreds of trillions? That's coming next. Another reason why you have to have assets in your own possession, physical silver in your own possession, cryptos in your own possession. So important. Anyway, so why is all this happening now, and what is the angle on the road to Roota angle? I was thinking that they were going to invade Taiwan to keep control of the semiconductors, but something happened over the weekend. The modern economy rests on a single road in North Carolina where hurricane collapsed bridges. In March, a Wharton professor who studies artificial intelligence and startups claimed on X, quote, the modern economy rests on a single road in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. The road runs into two mines that are the sole supplier of quartz required to make the crucibles needed to refine silicon wafers. Ethan Mollick noted at the time there are no alternative sources known if supply disruptions were seen in Spruce Pines. This is where they get the quartz to make the silicon for the chips and wafers and all that, the vast majority of it, and voila, a hurricane hits. And where does it dump all the rain? Right on top of Spruce Pine, North Carolina, causing massive destruction all over the place. Look at this is the town. Look at that. Just bang, bang, bang. Now, most of this, and I'm like, well, most of it came out in rail. That's how they ship the metals and rock and quartz and everything that they were pulling out of that area. So I'm looking. Show me the rail. Show me the rail. There it is. This is the rail pictures coming out of there. That's what it used to look like. See, there's the same house right there. Good luck getting that up and running again. And, oh, by the way, bridges are gone. Tracks are gone. This is not going to be fixed in the near future. This is going to take quite a while. Is that the same area? I don't know. Look at that. I mean, how long does it take to build? Obviously things can speed up if it's a huge important thing. But what if it was your own lovely government that sent that hurricane right there to dump all the rain? Look at all the road closures. All the red is the road closures. And here's Spruce Pine right here. Everybody else got like 30, 24, 14. Spruce Pine, 23.25 inches of rain. That's crazy. And it was like instantly, it just dumped it. It's amazing. Like they aimed it there. Of course, we know they can aim hurricanes. They can increase it, decrease it. That's what this one was all about. They can even stop hurricanes. If they can start them, they can stop them. And voila, now we kind of know the reason. So what happens if we can't get any quartz? This is the highly refined quartz out of Spruce Pine. You're going to see a shutdown, or at least a huge tamping down, as the current supply runs out. How much is out there? I don't really know. Maybe they stockpiled in China, but clearly you should have all your electronics that you're going to need through the transition out of the old system into the new, if you ask me. Quartz Cornerstone, how a single factory fuels the world's semiconductor industry, written in March. So everybody knew it, but nobody talked about it. How could this is like a unique place in the world where this highly refined quartz can be found. And it's one little town. It's a poor little town, and it's kind of secretive, the industry, but it is necessary to make all these high-end chips and even low-end chips to make the silicon wafers. Otherwise, you have to do all this refining process, and a lot of people saying you can't even do it. So, of course, where there's a will, there's a way. They'll be able to get it, but it won't be the same. Now, why am I talking about China in that? Because the Taiwan-China thing, a war with China would literally stop the shipments of silicon wafers or silicon chips. That's where they're all made in Taiwan. Not all of them, but the high-end ones, like 90% of the high-end ones. We are seeing, and what would that do to the economic system? I mean, what would that do to AI, for God's sake? We need massive amounts of infrastructure. I mean, they're talking about putting trillions of dollars into AI. Let me show you. Big tech banks on AI boom as infrastructure spending heads for the $1 trillion mark. While we're investing a significant amount in the AI space and infrastructure, we would like to have more capacity than we already have, CEO Jazzy said. The next industrial revolution has begun, NVIDIA president and CEO said. The company must closely associate with graphics processing unit technology, saw revenues ballooning. For every dollar spent on NVIDIA infrastructure projects, cloud providers have an opportunity to earn $5 in GPU instant hosting revenue over the 4 years. So much is going into it. I mean, literally trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars is going into it. BlackRock and Microsoft form a group to raise $100 billion to invest in AI data centers and power. Now we start thinking. They can't do that if they don't have chips. What are the alternatives? Are there any alternatives? You wouldn't know it. From the marketing genius of those guys over at Theta Labs, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. But listen to what Mitch Liu said about the recent release of the mobile edge node. This is Mitch Liu, the president or CEO, I don't know what CEO of Theta Labs. We're witnessing the dawn of a new AI revolution, but with it we have collective responsibilities in the Theta community. So he had 9 things to say. The mobile model can alleviate many environmental impacts by using spare GPU in pre-existing devices. You can go expand instantly, literally. Theta Edge Node is a software download, my friends. It is a software. You don't need more chips. The chips are there. You can download the software. Everybody now mobily can do it. The timing is kind of suspect because it happens just when they are needed. Number 2, rather than relying on GPU and centralized data centers, is more efficient and will produce less carbon emissions. The potential impact as it relates to our environment cannot be underestimated. Number 3, the shift to edge computing in AI will also fundamentally change who can participate in supporting AI networks and who can profit from them. The corporations that own the data centers will no longer be in a walled garden. Way to go, Mitch. Instead, the gates will be open and access will be proliferated for individual developers, small businesses, and even hobbyists that will be empowered to run AI networks. You can run your own AI network. Empowering a much larger pool of users and supporters will also enable more rapid and open development, helping to curb the much discussed and much feared idea of stagnation in the industry. Number 6, the increase in accessibility will also lead to more diverse applications, addressing niche problems and underserved communities that may be otherwise overlooked. Number 7, there's a lot of like a group hug type of stuff here. The economic impact of this shift will be profound. By allowing the community to monetize their devices' idle computer power, new revenue streams will run deep. It also opens up new markets for consumer-grade AI hardware and edge-optimized software. As a matter of fact, Hitomi and Dick Allgaier saw UBI, Universal Basic Income, when they viewed the Theta Network in the remote viewing, by the way. 8 of 9, the future of AI innovation lies not in building larger data centers, but in harnessing the power that already exists in our pockets and homes. By shifting focus to edge computing, a more inclusive, efficient, and innovative AI ecosystem can emerge. Number 9, this decentralized approach not only democratizes AI, but also aligns with global sustainability goals, ensuring that the benefits of AI are accessible to all, not just the privileged few. Wow, that's a lot. And all the stuff I was saying. We're going to have a problem with chips. We're going to have a problem with Taiwan. We're not going to be able to build out AI like we want unless we use the infrastructure that's already out there. Everybody's mobile phone has extra capacity, extra storage capacity, extra compute capacity, extra broadband capacity. Is it all kind of making sense now? Well, it doesn't make sense until I really thought deeply about it, is why Theta Labs has the worst marketing on the history of the planet, even when it comes to cryptos. The worst marketing. This is the most unique technology, and it's a software download. Did I tell you that? It's a software download. That's been invented since the World Wide Web, and yet still nobody knows about it. Where did they spend their money? They've used money to market, and it's just ridiculous marketing. Katy Perry, are you kidding? Oh, wait a minute. Let's think about that. Katy Perry. They got Katy Perry way back in 2017 this was part of their NFT bullshit and all that. I'm not saying NFTs are bullshit. Amazing technology, and you can use them for so much more than the Beanie Baby stuff that it started out as, but amazing technology. And yes, so Katy Perry, literally the guys at Theta Labs, let's get Katy Perry. Oh my God, she's such a big star and all that. And I know all you people who know about Pizzagate and all that. I know, I fully understand, and it's kind of scary when you go down that route. But at the same time, they paid her a lot of money and gave her stake in the company, I believe. She's one of the largest social media people out there. She's the first one to hit 100 million followers on Twitter. Where is the bang for the buck, Theta Labs? Where is Katy Perry saying, hey, 100 million followers? Download all you Google Android devices, download the Theta mobile edge node. Not only that, let me show you this. Where is it? These are the partners of Theta. Look at all these massive partners. Where's all their announcements? What kind of partners does Theta have if nobody's talking about what is going on in the biggest move in the history since the World Wide Web? What is the frickin' deal? Why aren't they all saying, oh my God, look at this amazing technology? One of the reasons probably is because you can't buy it in the U.S. You can, but it's very difficult. Like people say, Coinbase has it. No, they don't have it. They send you to another link to an exchange, an off-market exchange. It's not on the Coinbase exchange. Thank you, dear. And he just snuck in behind me. So what's the deal? Theta? Mitch? Guys over at Theta, the crack marketing department? My God, look at all these massive partners. What if Google came out and said, oh my God, you guys would not believe what we just released in partnership with Theta? Or Sony said it, or Samsung said it, or Binance said it, or Katy Perry said it, or Lionsgate said it. You name it. Where is the marketing? Now, as a investor in Theta and Theta Fuel, I think Theta Fuel is way undervalued compared to Theta right now. But hey, that's just me. You know, everybody's going to know what Theta Fuel is very soon. But this is a software download. What they invented is a software download. And they might say, well, it's not ready for mainstream yet. It's just in beta, and, there's still kinks being worked out in it and all that. Fine. I get it. But at some point, especially if, oh, by the way, chips have stopped. Chips have stopped flowing. Oh, by the way, China invades Taiwan. No more new computers. No more laptops. It's just all on hold right now. Is AI dead? Or all of a sudden, there is a amazing solution that doesn't increase the wear and tear on the planet. It just uses the existing infrastructure, the availability of the existing broadband space, the existing hardware, hard drive space, the existing processing power, and it's a freaking software download. That's why I'm so pro Theta, even more pro Theta Fuel at 20 to 1. I think it'll very quickly get under 10 to 1, by the way, which would be a doubling compared to Theta. But I think Theta's going to rock, especially if it absolutely becomes necessary. And we know that Coinbase has been holding back. Coinbase, it's an announcement that, we're doing Theta and Theta Fuel on Coinbase. Instantly, everybody could have access to it. This is why I've been screaming, get it while you can. Get it while you can. So there you go. There's my monologue for today. Yes, we are currently giving away 10 Theta, 100 TFuel, and 1,000 T-Drop with every private road subscription. No, I didn't say all that to get you to join the private road. We do have a page within the private road that it's a Theta page. It teaches you how to buy, store, and stake it. You have to have a little bit of crypto knowledge. So, and you can get that on YouTube easy. Ask any question you want on YouTube. That's where everybody learned. That was like a massive library back in the day. But we have a page that teaches you how to buy it, store it, and stake it. If you want to just go to a broker, go to roadtoroota.com, click on affiliates, and we do have a broker that deals in Theta named Caleb and Brown. Contact them with the link right there, and they will set you up. Our buddy Jake there. Listen to the interview. Listen to the discussion we have. It's so big. It's beyond big. I don't know if I can reiterate all these pieces coming together with silver, with Theta, with the war or the ending of shipping of new technology, new computer chips. You don't have to make double. We've already got many magnitudes more than could be made in decades of available space. Makes sense? Okay, good. Now you know what to do. But yeah, go to contact Caleb Brown if you want to buy a Theta or Theta Fuel or any other cryptos. They do that too. But I do think at one point, very, very soon, it might coincide with the shutdown of the chip manufacturing, which now it's two angles. Before I was like, China's going to invade Taiwan before the election, and that still might happen. But somebody shut it down beforehand who controlled the HARP, and the HARP is the thing that controls the hurricanes. Again, conspiracy stuff, you got to go to the private road for that, or they'll kick me off YouTube again, or try to. I was at 2 strikes a few times. It's a delicate dance. There's things I cannot say that I can say on the private road, but I cannot say on YouTube, unfortunately. So go check out the private road. It's $2.99 for a year. Get you, less than $1 a day. All the backroom stuff. Buy your silver, buy your Theta, buy your T-Fuel, especially your T-Fuel. Even think about swapping your Theta for T-Fuel. I think it's already gone from 35 to 1 down to 21. It's 21 to 1 right now. I think it'll go below 10 to 1. And it might happen in a blink of an eye. Let's just say Miss Katy Perry finally does her job and says, hey, everybody, download this app and you'll make free side income. It's not a lot. I would not recommend anybody go out and buy an Android phone to do this, because you don't make a lot. You make little tiny bits. But if the banks collapse, little tiny bits are all of a sudden a lot. And I do think this is the way of the future. And it's a good way to get people involved with what's going on at Theta. And there's so much more subchains and all that stuff. Theta will be, I believe, number 1 or 2 up there with Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to need Bitcoin as much as people seem to think. It can be, absolutely. I mean, amazing invention. Satoshi, I think Satoshi's Bitcoin is owned by the U.S. government. So when Trump's saying, yeah, we're going to really, we're going to have Bitcoin as one of our stockpiles and things like that, I think it's the Satoshi million Bitcoin. Pretty much everybody kind of agrees that the NSA and the CIA were involved in all that. And I agree. So we'll find out. Very exciting future. I'm very excited for it. And it's going to be good. It's going to be crazy for a while. And they might blow us up in the meantime. We might make it and we might not. We are spiritual beings living a physical presence for a little bit of time. If the world blows up in nuclear implosion, I think it's a failure. But I think we'll probably get another chance in a different lifetime. Maybe some little different planet or the same planet redone, or I don't know. When you get into that world, and oh, by the way, all the Cliff's talking about all the ET disclosure and all that's coming out very soon. Everything's in it. Literally, we have a perfect storm on the road to Roota. Everything's happening at the same time, and ultimately, it's very good for humanity. As long as you stick by your guns and understand what you're doing and what you're talking about, I think we're going to be fine. It's just not going to be easy getting past this hump, taking out the bad guys. All right, this is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.